Your chest feels tight. You can't sleep well. Your appetite is off. You're tired all the time, but also restless. You think it's stress. You think it's overwork. You think it's depression. You're wrong. Your body is doing exactly what it was built to do. It is screaming at you to go home. The problem is that home doesn't exist anymore. Every cell in your body still operates on software written 300,000 years ago. And in that software, being alone for any extended period of time triggers an emergency response designed to save your life. The aches, the brain fog, the inflammation, the impulsive behaviors, the inability to sleep, the constant low-grade dread, these are not symptoms of weakness. They are an alarm, and it is getting louder every year. The research is now overwhelming. Chronic loneliness raises your mortality risk by 26%. That's higher than obesity. It's roughly equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. The U.S. Surgeon General declared loneliness a public health epidemic in 2023. The UK appointed a minister of loneliness in 2018. Japan did the same in 2021. These are sentences that would have made no sense to any human alive 1,000 years ago, because no human alive 1,000 years ago was ever expected to be alone. So here's the question almost nobody is asking. Why does your body treat being alone like being injured? The answer starts with a researcher named John Cacioppo. Cacioppo spent 30 years of his career on this single question. In the early 2000s, he started doing MRI scans on chronically lonely adults. He found that the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the part of your brain that activates when you stub your toe, also activates when you feel socially rejected or alone. Tylenol in clinical trials has been shown to reduce both physical pain and the pain of social exclusion. To your brain, these are not metaphors for each other. They are running on the same hardware. The pain of loneliness is not poetic. It is literal. And it doesn't stop at the brain. Cacioppo and his team found that lonely people have elevated cortisol, the stress hormone designed for short bursts of fight or flight, now running 24 hours a day in a body that was built to live in a tribe. Their immune systems shift toward chronic inflammation. Their wounds heal slower. Their cells age faster. Their sleep architecture breaks down. They become hypervigilant for social threats, which makes them paranoid, which makes them harder to connect with, which makes them lonelier. It is a death spiral. And it is not in their head. It is in every system in their body. But the most haunting question is why? Why would evolution build this in? Why would the body punish itself for being alone? The answer takes you back 100,000 years. To be separated from your band on the African savanna, in the European forest, in the Australian outback, was to die. Predators waited. Other tribes raided. Food was hard to gather without help. Sleep was dangerous without people to keep watch. Children could not survive without alloparents. So evolution did what evolution always does. It built an alarm. It made being alone feel terrible, not as a mood, but as a physical emergency, so that you would never tolerate it for long. The alarm worked perfectly. For 300,000 years, almost no human was ever truly alone for more than a few hours. Picture your great-great-great-grandfather waking up. Within arm's reach is his wife. Within 10 feet are his children. Outside the dwelling are his brothers and their wives. Outside the village are his cousins, allies, in-laws. He spends his entire day within speaking distance of at least a dozen people who know his name. When he eats, he eats with them. When he works with them. When he sleeps within hearing distance of them. He does not feel lonely. Not because he is happy, not because he is enlightened, but because the conditions that would trigger the loneliness alarm never occur. The alarm is silent because it has no reason to ring. Now picture you. Your alarm has been ringing for years. You live in an apartment where you might not see another human for days. You eat 60% of your meals alone. You commute alone in a car. You sit at a desk alone, even if you're in an open office. You connect with people through screens that your nervous system does not register as connection. So the alarm gets louder and louder, and it sounds like depression. It sounds like anxiety. It sounds like burnout. It sounds like everything modern life has labeled as a personal mental health problem. But it isn't a personal problem. It is the most ancient warning system in your body, telling you the truth that modern life has tried to convince you isn't true. You cannot survive alone. You weren't built to. No human ever was. About 10,000 years ago, agriculture pulled humans into denser settlements. About 200 years ago, the Industrial Revolution pulled them out of villages into cities. About 70 years ago, suburbs pulled them into single-family homes. About 30 years ago, the internet pulled them into screens. Each step felt like progress. Each step pulled the average human further from the conditions their body was built for. And the alarm got louder every single time.
Your ancestors didn't have a word for loneliness. They had no concept of it. You have 1,000 words for it, and you feel it every day. They lived their entire lives within arm's reach of their tribe. You live yours within scrolling distance of strangers. They felt safe because they were almost never alone. You feel unsafe because you almost always are. The alarm in your body isn't broken. It's working perfectly. It's doing exactly what 300,000 years of evolution shaped it to do. You can numb it with alcohol. You can drown it in dopamine. You can override it with caffeine and ambition. You can call it depression and treat the symptoms.
But the alarm doesn't go away because the condition that triggers it doesn't go away. You are alone in a way no human was ever supposed to be. The relief you have been chasing through productivity, ambition, dating apps, side hustles, screens, isn't out there. It's in the room you haven't been in for a long time. The one with people who know your name. People who would notice if you disappeared. That room used to be everywhere. Now you have to build it from scratch. But your body has been telling you, in the only language it has, that you have to. Listen to it.